by Ted Blom. Ted, thank you so much for your time. Now, essentially, this NERSA ruling is basically saying that what Eskom did was tantamount to fraud.
Absolutely. Eskom denied it. The client tried to have discussions with Eskom on a number of occasions. Eskom then came back with a PowerPoint presentation with a whole team of people. So they all colluded in this fraud. And at the hearings, they couldn't show us where this fictitious building had arisen. And when we looked at it's metadata, lots and lots of data, because it gets built every 30 minutes. When we looked at the detail over the period, we found out that Eskom had done fictitious building.
Now, it's come to light, from your end, that there are many more instances of this nature where there are fictitious billings or over-invoicing by Eskom against consumers. Now, how wide-scale is this problem? And also, what does it mean for NERSA?
Okay, so the problem is more wide-scale than I anticipated originally. I had to take one case through the process to set a precedent. I'm also aware that there's a major problem at each of the municipalities who face a similar problem of overbilling and aggressive billing by Eskom. And that could be indicative in the 9.6 billion of the 16 billion Eskom claims the municipalities owe it. I think about 9.6 billion could be questionable. And then it also has further repercussions on Eskom in terms of the rating agencies. If their revenue is overstated, grossly overstated, 9.6 billion on the Munichs and then I don't know how much on the civilians, it could have major impact on Eskom's rating.
Now, do we know what NERSA is going to do about this at this point in time, especially as it has implications on its rating?
Okay, so NERSA has had hearings earlier on, at the end of last month, where some of the issues have been discussed, but not the fictitious billing. But the tariff regime that Eskom has been applying and the penalties that Eskom has been applying to customers, those hearings still have to be, the outcome still has to be announced. But NERSA wants the claims to be dealt with on a one-by-one basis. And not as a blanket case. There might be a case for a class action, but at this stage, NERSA prefers seemingly to deal with a one-on-one because it means a lot of traveling to go to the regional offices, to hear the other side of the story, etc., etc. But if it comes out that this is a disease within Eskom and part of the poor ethics and the corruption, then NERSA might look at it differently and say, listen here, we'll take a class action on this one.
Now, it wouldn't be the first of its kind in terms of diseases, as you've mentioned. Now, how can consumers, especially mining companies and unsuspecting consumers, protect themselves and from this over-invoicing? What do they have to look at? What are those practicalities that they have to do?
Okay, so the accounts are quite complex nowadays. You get direct charges for consumption, and then you get overhead charges, which are network charges or fixed cost charges or line charges. If the indirect charges, in other words, the line and the network charges, are more than 30% of the consumption charge, that should raise an alarm. And the people who have a problem with that can go to our website, lodge a complaint according to the procedure we've outlined there. NERSA is very strict about the procedure. If you shortcut it, they won't take the case. Follow the procedure there, and then I will personally see it and take it up on their behalf.
Now, we know that Eskom is 390 billion rands in debt. Now, there's been recent calls that, Eskom should be privatized, something that the unions are completely against. We know that earlier this month that Eskom was locked in talks with senior management, strategizing on the way forward in terms of, seeing what assets, if any, can be sold to try and basically, save ship. What are your thoughts around this privatization?
Okay, so I think any strategy needs to be founded on solid facts. We are now aware, through the Public Protector's report and through the cries at NERSA for the last 10 years about corruption at Eskom, that Eskom's numbers are not kosher. Until you sort out the quality of the numbers with a forensic audit, a full forensic audit, you're not in a position to build a case. VBS Bank is 2 billion. It's a drop in the ocean. The government is doing a full forensic audit over there. Eskom, the fraud I anticipate, is more than 100 billion. And yet there's no forensic audit. So I don't know who Eskom or the government's trying to hide. But it's time that it stops and the full forensic audit is ordered.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your views.
You're welcome.